What's up, Internet? Corey Zamier here, back with the Weekend Adventure in Video Game Hunting. I'm about to hit this flea market. I don't have an analogy for you. Let's go. Does anybody else remember this Key to the Kingdom game? I had it as a kid. I think we got it at a garage sale. I never got to play it, but it always looked cool as fuck. Here we have Bloody Roar, disc only for the PlayStation. I thought this would be a nice stack of PlayStation games, possibly, and it turns out just to be mostly music CDs. I looked through them all, nothing else there, but for $2, Bloody Roar on the PlayStation is a great deal.
Asking for the television.
150 is the best. All together's gotta go. The only reason I'm saying that is this system has never been used. They've never even been put the decals, nothing been put on, nothing. Got as a Christmas present, never was used. But, I mean, yeah, it's cheap as hell, games every year, plus the parts. The only thing that's said is this is cheap.
Never been used, okay. Okay. That's why it looks like it's all jacked up. Here right across the way I come across a box of PS2 games at a vendor who rarely has games. Got Cat in the Hat, Underground 2 Tony Hawk, Kingdom Hearts, Rayman 3, which I thought I had but I didn't, so that was pretty cool to pick up. We also see, I can't see anymore, I can't see, Killzone, really bad camera work. But the gist of it is I picked up 3 games for $5, which wasn't a bad price. Here are some relatively common PS2 games, none of which I'm interested in. Guys got some interesting Magic the Gathering stuff. I actually just noticed that was a gigantic Mock Sapphire. I really don't know if those are worth anything, but one thing that had caught my eye were these D&D books. I'm very into D&D. And it never hurts to have an extra player handbook. Unfortunately, I believe he wanted $10 for it, which is more than I'm willing to pay when we already have quite a few. He also had, I believe I can just barely see it in frame, a Nintendo or Super Nintendo RF Switch. And I ended up picking that up for $1 after I failed to bundle it together with the book for a price I would be willing to pay. Definitely can't complain about those finds, but the Bloody Roar for the PlayStation, I'm definitely gonna have to get that one resurfaced, but for $2 I wasn't gonna leave it behind, but hopefully it'll work. And then my game exchange, I'm gonna get this resurfaced and see if they have anything cool. Honestly, nothing in there to look at that I haven't seen in the last few weeks, so didn't really film inside at all, but ended up getting my disc resurfaced for free, but it's not in the best shape, as we can see here. Hopefully around the outside, the outer edges of the disc wouldn't really come out. But hopefully it works, because it's a recouper, because I already have that game complete. On to yet another game exchange. This one we hit up less frequently. It's the one over in Hamden. I like this store quite a bit. Maybe it's because I don't see it as often, so I don't feel like I'm always seeing the same thing over and over and over again. But right off the bat, Blue Dragon Plus, the game, very affordable. I believe it's a strategy RPG, and I don't have it. And as it turns out, it's going to be even more on sale than I thought it was originally. I thought I was going to be looking for the buy two, get one free, but as it turns out, the current sale this store is having, I'm not sure if the other ones were also participating, but they're having a buy one, get one free if it's under $13. And of course, a buy two, get one free sale if it's over $15, which is great. Unfortunately, after a lot of searching, I wasn't able to find anything in that price range, and for some reason we're looking at me here, looking at some Wii games, looking at some GameCube stuff, and we go home. I was doing quite a bit of waffling in this game exchange. I could not find a PSP game to match up with Blue Dragon that had a manual. I just couldn't find anything below $10 that would match up. And I was probably in the store for a good 20 minutes, which is quite a bit of time, and I need to get the fuck out of there because it was packed. They were having some sort of Smash Brothers tournament, which I believe they have every Saturday, and there was actually a kid throwing a temper tantrum in this store, and when I say kid, I mean he must have been like 13, 14. He's throwing a temper tantrum in this store because his father wouldn't let him purchase Mortal Kombat. Which is understandable. It's pretty gruesome. Then again, had someone said I couldn't play Mortal Kombat 2 back in the day when I was around his age, I would have looked at them and been pretty pissed about it. However, his temper tantrum further continued into being upset that he didn't have enough money to get some old Xbox 360 Naruto game and some Xbox 360 SpongeBob game. And I don't know. I just don't understand kids these days. If I was 14 years old, I would not be freaking out about not being able to get the SpongeBob game. Finally, I've made a decision. We're gonna get Valhalla Knights 2, and we're out of there and already at the flea market again. Holy shit.
Sunday. Hopefully we have some luck here, like we did yesterday. Hopefully we find something really cool today. I have a good feeling about it.
The same Xbox 360 that's been here for weeks does not count as something cool. However, a black Game Boy Advance SP 101 in good shape does count as something pretty cool.
How much are you asking for a Game Boy?
40 bucks.
40.
Now we're at that part of the video where you're like, oh my god, Corey didn't get it because it was $40. Wrong! I went to the ATM, got some money, and I haggled him down to 30.
What good is it if you hang them on?
Well, yeah, I got an 1892 I use in the backyard. I use it CBs.
Just take 30 for it?
Yeah.
Only one find, but it's a pretty good one. Game Boy Advance SP model 101, the nice brighter screen. No charger, but came with a game. The game's a good one. Mario Kart Super Circuit. Can't get it out right now. There we go. Picked this up for $30. He originally wanted $40, which is a lot more than I'd usually spend. But 101s have been going up in price lately. I believe like a year ago, if you got a 101, you could get like 50 for it on eBay. Right now I just checked and there's some going for like 80, like ridiculous prices. So $30 for that is not a bad deal. And I have a feeling someone has mentioned to me that they're looking for one. Maybe it was Danny, I don't know. We'll see.
Here we are at my potentially second favorite pawn shop. Of course, their NES games are pretty harshly overpriced for the most part, as are their Super Nintendo games, but there are certain areas where I can catch them slipping. Here in the case, we have some DS games that I don't have in my collection. They're all $4 each, with the exception of Fire Emblem Shadow Dragon, which I'm going to be using that as a recouper, just because I don't want to spend $25 on a game for my collection that I probably, realistically, will never play. Alright guys, let's take a look at what I was able to find at the flea market, a pawn shop, and a retro video game store on this weekend adventure in video game hunting. First up, the flea market started off very strong with a loose copy of Bloody Roar for the PlayStation. It's a little bit scratched up, but it plays. I did get it resurfaced at the Game Exchange. They did it for free because they weren't able to get out everything around the edges, but it does work, so I'm happy about that. I only paid $2 for it. Definitely a great deal for that game. And I also came across a vendor that rarely has games, but when he does, he gives them away pretty cheap. And he did 3 for $5 on these. Rayman 3, Hoodlum Havoc, Need for Speed Underground 2, and Kingdom Hearts. So $5 for those 3 is not bad at all. And the last thing I got at the flea market, just a RF switch for a Nintendo or Super Nintendo. Not bad, but I only paid $1 for that, so can't complain at all. Also at the flea market on Sunday, I guess I can show this now, I did pick up a rather expensive item, both in what I paid and what it's worth. It's a Game Boy Advance SP, the 101 model, the brighter screen, which it just looks bright as hell to me, I can't tell. And he was asking $40, I haggled him down to $30. Didn't come with a charger, but as you can see, or maybe not see, it did come with Mario Kart Super Circuit. So not bad at all for $30. This has been going up in price. I believe there's some on eBay right now for around $75-$80, which is crazy to me. Can't believe it. I thought I was going to be trading it to Danny, but he did get one of his own on eBay. Which is unfortunate because I would have been just shipping it up to him. I owe him so much by now. But that will end up being a recouper for me. At the Game Exchange, I did pick up 2 games. They were having an end of the month sale for February. Buy one, get one free if it was under 13, and buy 2, get one free if it was above that, which is better than the usual sale. Picked up 2 games. I got Valhalla Knights 2 for the PSP. Unfortunately, this is missing the manual, but it was really hard to find something to pair with the other game, which is Blue Dragon Plus for the DS. And it looks like it's a strategy RPG, which is right up my alley. The rest of the games I got at one of my favorite pawn shops. Not my favorite pawn shop, but one of them. First up, we got Populous DS. This one was $4. Might and Magic Clash of Heroes, $4. From the Abyss, $4. And this one looks pretty cool. It's an Axis game. Don't know much about it other than that it looks really cool and it's from a pretty cool company. And the last game is probably, realistically, gonna end up being a recouper just because I spent so much on it. And I've had this game in the past, I've gotten rid of it in the past just because I'm realistically never going to get around to it. And that is Fire Emblem Shadow Dragon. Paid $25 for this. It goes for around $40 to $50 on eBay right now. And the reason I'm probably never going to get around to this is a Fire Emblem game before they allowed you to turn off permadeath, I believe. So if I'm not even playing Fire Emblem Awakening or Birthright or Conquest, what are the fucking chances of me putting that in a system anytime? Almost none. So it doesn't make any sense for me to hold on to it if someone else would appreciate it. So let me know what you were able to find on your weekend adventure in video game hunting. Hit that like button for me. There's no like challenge, but
I'd really appreciate it. Subscribe if you're new, and as always, keep it real, Internet. I love you guys.